Hello everyone, tonight I am going to tell you a story about a hotel that carries with it a rumor so strange and so terrifying that most people dismiss it as an urban legend. And yet there are guests who have checked in and never checked out, or worse, have returned broken, muttering incoherent things about hallways that do not exist, doors that should not be there, and a room that is not listed in the hotel records, a room that no staff admits exists, a room that the elevator will take you to only if you make the mistake of pressing the wrong button at midnight, and if you dare to enter it you will come face to face with things beyond comprehension. For this is the story of the hotel room that does not exist, and it begins in a city that time itself seems to have forgotten, a gray industrial place where the streets are often covered with mist rising from the river that cut through it like a scar, and where the tallest structure near the station is an old grand hotel built in the 1920s, its facade still decorated with faded gold trimmings and cracked marble lions at the entrance. A place that once hosted wealthy travelers but now survives on cheap bookings from businessmen and tired commuters, its walls echoing with memories of a past glory long decayed. And it is in this hotel, with its peeling wallpaper and the scent of damp carpet, that the legend of room 313 lives, though if you ask at the reception, they will show you the floor plan and insist that after floor 12 the elevator goes directly to 14, and that 13 never existed, but guests whisper that if you step inside the elevator at exactly midnight and press the button in the wrong way, sometimes the dial flickers, sometimes it stalls, and sometimes with a sickening lurch, elevator stops at a floor you should not be able to reach, a floor where the corridor stretches too long, the lights buzz too softly, and at the very end stands a door with the tarnished number 313 glinting faintly in the gloom, and there are those who claim to have walked that corridor, feeling the carpet under their shoes change from rough to wet, as though soaked in something warm and sticky, their footsteps muffled as if the walls themselves were swallowing sound. And when they reach the door, some say they hear faint music drifting from behind it, like an old gramophone playing a broken record. Others claim they hear weeping, while a few swear the sound is of someone breathing just inches from the other side, waiting, and if you push that door, it opens easily, as though it has been waiting for you, and inside the room looks at first like any other, a single bed with white sheets, a dresser with a mirror, heavy curtains drawn tight against the window, a lamp that flickers even when unplugged, but stay long enough and you realize nothing about this room is ordinary, because the mirror does not reflect you as you are but shows a version of yourself older, thinner, or with eyes hollowed by despair, sometimes smiling when you are not. And if you touch the mirror you feel not glass but something soft, something that gives under your fingers like flesh. And if you stay longer, the curtains twitch though there is no wind, and the sound of footsteps begins to echo across the ceiling as if someone is pacing just above, though there is no floor above 13. And those who survive long enough to leave describe the door shutting behind them with such finality it echoes in their bones for years, though most never make it back because the bed calls to them, whispers in a voice so soothing it feels like their mother, telling them to lie down, to rest, and once you do, the sheets tighten like ropes, holding you still as the room grows darker, and the smell of rot seeps from the corners, and shapes move in the shadows, pale hands crawling out from beneath the bed, cold fingers clutching at your ankles, pulling you into a place colder and deeper than the hotel itself. And this, they say, is how the room takes you, not by violence but by lull, by tricking your senses into surrendering, and those who vanish are never seen again, though sometimes at night the receptionist swears the phone rings, and when she answers, the line is filled with static and a faint voice whispering a room number she insists does not exist, 313, over and over until the line goes dead. And yet the ledger shows no such guest, no such call, nothing at all, but she trembles because she remembers the voice, cracked, broken, begging, and she is sure it belonged to a guest who checked in months ago and never left, his belongings still waiting in the lost stand, found, covered in dust, untouched, And this story grows darker when you learn of the hotel's staff themselves, who never take the elevator at midnight, who cross themselves when the number 13 is mentioned, and who will not enter the basement because they believe the foundation was built on something older than the city itself, that when the hotel was constructed, they walled up tunnels that led into the earth, tunnels filled with bones, and perhaps it is there that the room draws its strength, from the restless dead beneath. For every few decades there are reports in the newspaper of vanishings connected to the hotel, always dismissed as accidents, suicides, runaways, but the locals know better. They shake their heads and mutter about the cursed room, and sometimes in the bar across the street you can find an old man who will tell you of his youth, when he worked there as a bellboy, and how one night a rich couple insisted on booking room 313, waving money at the clerk, laughing at superstition, and how the next morning their room was empty, the bed unslept, their luggage gone, but their car still in the lot. And when police searched every room, every hallway, every exit, they found nothing, only the elevator stuck between floors, doors opening to reveal an empty box reeking of iron, and from that day on he refused to ride it after dark, and he will clutch your arm and whisper that the room feeds on curiosity, that it waits for skeptics, because the more you doubt, the more it hungers, and if you ever find yourself at that hotel near the station, tired, looking for a cheap night's rest, remember his words, because when the clock strikes midnight and you step into the elevator, you might feel a sudden drop, a flicker of the lights, and when the doors slide open you will see a corridor that should not be there, stretching out into silence. Number 313 gleaming faintly ahead, and your choice will be whether to step forward or turn back. But know this, once you see the door, once you hear the faint music from within, it is already too late, for the hotel has chosen you, and whether you walk willingly or fight, the room will find a way to claim what it wants, and should you hear footsteps behind you in that endless corridor, do not look back, because what follows you is not a guest, not a staff member, but the echo of everyone who entered before, and they are desperate to drag you with them into the dark place where the room keeps its secrets, a place that does not exist on any map, in any record, in any world we know, yet waits behind a door at the end of a hallway you were never meant to see. So the next time you stay at an old hotel, and the elevator hesitates between floors, and the lights flicker as the clock strikes 12, ask yourself, do you really want to see what lies beyond the door that should not exist? Because if you do, you may find yourself in room 313, and you may never leave again.